So there was already rumors going around about Manny Pacquiao and Barrios fighting. But now we have a lot more other things as far as Sebastian Fundora and Tim Tszyu rematch being discussed, along with Isaac Cruz and Fierro having another rematch from the last fight they had. It was a classic fight on February 1st on the Benavidez Morrell undercard co-main event. But what kind of co-main event? But what kind of shocks me about this situation with Pacquiao is this. It's three things, because this is going to lead into something else I'll discuss in my next video. But I'll just halfway talk about it in this one. It's three things I see in this. Pacquiao has a shot at Barrios. First dibs, right? As far as anybody who's available right now. And that's not, I'll say people have questioned it, but it looks kind of bad, because I'll just say in this situation, people are saying as far as on the Boots and Norman situation, Pacquiao and Barrios fighting each other does not help Boots or Norman at all, even if that fight was happening or not. So it's kind of like that fight is almost being discussed or used as a distraction almost, because when you look at Pacquiao and Barrios and then you load the undercard up that like that, then you're going to have Tank fighting a couple of weeks later, because technically Tank Davis is supposed to fight before these guys were. They were saying June, right? So now I'm thinking, okay, they're going to put Pitbull fight on Tank card. And, you know, not that I want to see this right now, but who knows? Maybe they'll do a rematch as far as in the future. I know Pitbull Cruz is with Manny Pacquiao Promotions, so definitely that's why he's on fight on the undercard or co-main event, whatever it's going to be for the Pacquiao fight. If the Fundora and Tim Tszyu fight is going to be on there, it's probably going to be a undercard fight, not a co-main event. But when I say this, it's kind of like, where are we at right now as far as the fights? Because people are saying they want to see the best fight the best, and they want to see the top fighters and everything else. But when you have Tank Davis's fight, technically it's not being talked about. So as far as I know, this undercard, I'm thinking in my mind, okay, the undercard that they're going to be talking about first is going to be Tank Davis, right? And Lamont Roach. They talking about Pacquiao and Barrios. Come on, man. I told you, Tank was supposed to fight before Barrios' last fight, and Barrios might end up fighting before him again. How, and people will say, what are you talking about? How is Barrios' priority over Tank in a lot of these situations when it comes to dates, everything that's going on? Not to say that Barrios isn't in the position that he earned, but I'm just saying as far as the hierarchy, the order, as far as everything. And then at 47, people are saying that we haven't had any fights. Now you finally have fights available and opponents like Norman Jr., who has a name at 47. Everybody said wasn't names there. He's a name. And then as soon as you get his name going, you bring in Pacquiao. I'm just saying. Then you had Ryan's name thrown out there, 47, Teofimo. So you're adding in more guys from another division. When are we going to get started on this process? You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. When is this process going to get started? Because now you're loading up rematches. So now Pacquiao's fight is going to have rematches on there with Tim Tszyu Fundora, which I will watch, and Isaac Cruz and Fierro, which I will watch. I like the first fight before it happened. But you got to understand, it's another rematch. So boom, they fight at the end of the year. Where they ain't gonna fight till what, early next year? I don't know, man. I'm just looking at certain things and I'm kind of like, I don't know. Seems like another situation where, because at the end of the day, you got to realize most fighters are going to be what, 2 times a year fighting now, twice a year. You get a fight here, you get a fight there. I don't know. In certain situations, it does work out, but man, you just got to look at certain things. Just got to look at it. the way it's playing out. I don't know how to really explain, but that undercard is real heavy for a Pacquiao-Barrios fight. Real heavy. I'm talking about major. And it's rematches. It's not really a new matchup on there, so it's kind of like. And then Tank Davis's card is not really being discussed right now, so that's kind of surprising to me in a lot of ways. Not really, because I knew it wasn't gonna be in June, but when you kind of compare it, because if you really want to say some things, there's some other cards that's been coming up that if you throw those two fights on the card with Pacquiao, that's a strong card. Very strong. Then you know the rest of the names on there gonna be heavy. So yeah, I was just saying, as far as that, they're talking about Sebastian Fundora and Tim Tszyu, which I expected that to be a fight that was gonna be lingering out there regardless, because of the Xander Zayas situation. After that fell through. But with the Pacquiao thing and the Isaac Cruz and Fierro, and then you got Tank's fight. And then my thing is, how soon is he gonna fight after this fight happens? So this fight happens, and then when is his fight? 2 weeks later? Because PBC, they did a fight recently, but that was in between. It was a small card. I think they got tossed, didn't it? Didn't that card get tossed? The one in between that one, I want to say. So they went straight from Benavidez to Tank. And then Tim Tszyu, I think the other one got tossed, and the Keith Thurman one was on main event. So yeah, I'm just looking at things from, different perspectives, because, you still have a big division in 47, and then, you got Isaac Cruz. I don't know. They were talking about him possibly. I know he's still going between 35 and 40. Is he sticking at 40 right now? They was talking about him fighting Ryan next. So they was going to stick him at 47. That's why I said it's all over the place when it comes to that. But I just wanted to say that, because in my mind, I was like, I hope they put him as the Tank Davis fight. That would make sense. But, I mean, as far as him being on Pacquiao card, it makes sense too. But when you really look at things, it's like, okay, another year of a big card with rematches. And I'm looking at the rematches in deep divisions. I would say 47 isn't extremely deep, so I wouldn't really pay attention as far as Pacquiao-Barrios. I knew that was going to be on the table regardless. But as far as what Pitbull Cruz has a lot of options, don't really have to have this rematch. It will be a good fight to watch again. But in the other weight classes, 54, Fundora and Tim Tszyu right now, I don't know. I think more people would have actually would rather see Baccaram versus Tim Tszyu, and then Fundora versus Zayas, to be honest with you. But maybe I'm just looking at things different. I mean, a person who keeps up with things every day, but a person who's just looking on the outside, they probably would say that these matchups are the best. But I was just, if a rematch we would want to see, probably would want to be the Baccaram rematch. As far as on my end, I would want to see what Tim Tszyu does. Yeah, in my eyes, it would be a statement if he was to go out there and beat him rather than beating Fundora. But that's all I got. Like and subscribe.